What's going on, guys? Welcome to my channel. My name's Glenn and I'm just another YouTube angler. So I want to show you something real quick. Let me turn this camera around and we'll get to it. So I ride in a FeelFree lure, 11.5. Love it. Great little kayak. Perfect for what I need it for right now. It does great. Let's look at this little mod I did for you guys on the Sonar pod. This is where the Sonar pod is, all right? And on mine, in my Sonar pod, I have a 30-pound thrust Minn Kota with a PWM, and all that stuff is inside the Sonar pod. So that's how I normally ride when I'm going, fishing. But tomorrow we're going on a little river trip. So this is what I came up with, right? Little Flambeau ammo crate. Any little cheap ammo crate will work just fine. What I did was in the bottom, I screwed some little screws that didn't go all the way through. 4 of them are in there, so that keeps this on here, right? On the back side, I've got 2, they're called gland nuts. If you are into kayaking, I highly suggest that you figure out what gland nuts are and start using them on everything. What they do essentially is they're for wiring stuff. But what they do essentially is there's a little rubber gasket around here. When you tighten this down, that rubber gasket tightens down. So this is all watertight, all right? The only way water is going to get in here is if it comes up through this little bitty gap right here. Got one in the front with a little clip, right? And I've got all my soft plastic trailers and stuff in here, but it runs all the way inside. And I've got a little ball here just in case this decides to pull through. And how this is going to work is, since I can't have my trolling motor out in this little river tomorrow, I will drop this in the Sonar pod. I'll take my little clip up front, I'll attach it here, a little bungee action right there. Then I'll take this one back here and I'll pop it underneath this little guy right here. It goes right there, right? So that screws down. These are tight. So it's watertight. It's being held on right here. This thing is not going anywhere. And I've got a little box here, a little area right here where I can just toss stuff at if I want to. It's possible water could splash up in here. Basically on this cutting board that this Flambeau crate is on, and I can tell you what that was. So this is just some poly board. You can use starboard or whatever you got. I just had some leftover 1/2-inch cutting board that I bought from Ross or something for super cheap, and it was a big one, and I just cut it up into different pieces to use what I need it for. This lip right here is what it sits on. So same thing as your Sonar pod. When it sits down there, it sits on that lip right there, and that's how it rides. This will keep water from splashing up in the kayak, or that's the plan. That's really the main concern. Is I just don't want water splashing all over me while we're going down the river. This should ensure that a little bit more. Some water's going to get through there. I'm aware of that, and that's not a big deal. But I'd like to keep the majority of it, pretty chill if I can. So that's how it's going to ride. I think I'm even going to leave it on the trailer like this. Hey, I like my little situation I got going here. We got both kayaks on the trailer. This was a little day project. Basically just put 2x4s across a 5x8 trailer, because 5x8 trailer is not wide enough for that Old Town and this FeelFree to sit on. So it needed to sit up on top. Put some eyelets here. My crate my wheel around is all wood, and it hasn't done anything to this, so I don't imagine that this is going to be any different. Let me crank that down just a touch more. I know I'm not supposed to crank this down, guys. I get it. I know you're all worried about ratchet straps messing up a kayak, but if this is what messes up my kayak, then it's probably not a great kayak, because I don't bend anything or anything like that. Got some little Bass Pro little rod savers right here and down there. So I think we're only going to bring about 2 rods a piece tomorrow because we don't know really much about where we're going. So we're going to bring about 2 rods a piece. So that'll be more than enough to carry the rods that we need. And then we just got room for other storage over here. The plan is to get this kayak or this trailer fully decked out.